Hi guys, it's Will here. Going to break down this weekend's fight card from Las Vegas. It's the TUF finale from this year's TUF, which has been one of the best seasons for a long time, if not the best season ever. A lot of really quality fighters on the card, on the show, sorry, and two coaches. John Jones, who was a decent coach, but Chael Sonnen, who I thought was the best coach that TUF's maybe ever had. A lot of the fights on the card are from the fighters that were on the show, so they've got a chance here to kind of make their way into the UFC with some big wins. So we're going to go all the way to the start of the card, and it's a really good card. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a shame I'm going to miss it. I'm having a night out. I'm going to be drinking a lot of alcohol, so yeah, looking forward to that. But it's a great card, and I will catch up with it. I'll probably catch the end of it if I'm not too pissed out my face on at the weekend. So first up, we've got Sam Sicilia against Maximo Blanco. Sicilia, he was on TUF 16, I think it was. He's quite a close friend of Mike Chiesa, and he last fought over in Brazil against Ronnie Jason at UFC 153, and he got outclassed there. Ronnie Jason's a really good fighter, and he's just he's strong. He's tough to beat in Brazil. He's a tough winner. So yeah, it was a tough fight for him. He went over there on the lines then, and just kind of got outclassed by Ronnie Jason. His only other win was at the TUF 15. It was the TUF 15 he was in against Cristiano Marcelo. So not really saying much there, to be honest with you. Maximo Blanco, I think he's coming off a loss, if I remember, to Marcus Brimage, who got absolutely destroyed by Conor McGregor last week. Now everybody knows who Conor McGregor is, and I picked against him. I picked Marcus Brimage because I'm a dumb shit sometimes. But yeah, Maximo Blanco, I quite like him. He's a talent, but he is coming off a loss to Brimage. In fact, 2 losses. He lost to Pat Healy as well. So yeah, I think this is a good fight for Blanco. I think he's going to get his first win in the UFC. As I say, I think he's got a good chance here against Sicilia, because Sicilia's going to come out and want to bang, and I think Blanco is quite unorthodox, and he will be willing to stand up. I think he'll just get the better of Sicilia. I think he'll get a decision. Next up, we've got Justin Lawrence against Daniel Pineda. Lawrence was in TUF a few years back. Everybody was saying he was the next big thing. Really good on his feet. Comes out of the Black House gym, Anderson Silva, over there. But he got KO'd last time out against Max Holloway, who is one of my guys that I like to watch. I like Max Holloway. He's a young kid and he's going to do well, as is Justin Lawrence. This is a big fight against Daniel Pineda. So yeah, Daniel Pineda, he's coming off a couple of losses to Mike Brown and Antonio Carvalho. And after that, he was coming off two wins in the UFC against Pat Schilling and Mackenzie Semerzia. So yeah, this is a big fight for both these guys. I think maybe if either one of them lost, especially Pineda, he's going to be out of the UFC. Justin Lawrence, who knows, he's a young kid, so he maybe get let out and go and fight somewhere else, and then come back to the UFC when he's fought a few more. I think Justin Lawrence is going to get the win here. I don't think there's much between them, but I think Lawrence will get the win by decision. Next up, we're in the featherweight division. All 3 first fights are in the featherweight division. We've got Cole Miller against Bart Palachewski. Cole Miller was on one of the earliest seasons of TUF. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was. He's had some really good wins at 155, but this is him down at 145. But he's lost 2 in a row as well, and he's coming off. I think he deserved the decision against Namfan. Never got it. He lost to Steven Seiler before that, but he's got wins over TG O'Brien, Ross Pearson, Dan Lozon, Junie Browning, George Gurgel. So he's been in the UFC for a long time. But as I say, he's coming off 2 losses, and 3 of his last 4 have been losses as well, because before the O'Brien win, he lost to Matt Wyman as well. Palachewski, I think this is his first fight. since maybe, is it maybe Japan? No, it's not. Diego Nunes, I think it was the last time it was. Diego Nunes last year in October on the Brown Bigfoot undercard. And he's coming off 2 losses. Well, he lost to Hayoki, and before that he had a really big win over Tyson Griffin where he knocked him out. Not many people do that, maybe for the exception of Takanori Gomi. So yeah, this is a big fight. I think either one of these guys lose, they're out of the UFC. So I'm going to go with Cole Miller. I think he's maybe going to catch a submission, maybe. If not, I think he will get a decision if it goes to the ground. But say Palachewski is pretty skilled in the ground as well. But I'm just going to pick Cole Miller for that. Next, we're on to the guys that were on the TUF season. Just going to run through these quickly. Not much to say about them. Clint Hester, who was my pick to win the show before Uriah Hall started taking heads and nearly knocking people's eyes out their heads. Clint Hester was my pick. He lost to Jimmy Quinlan. He's against Bristol Morundi. And I'm going to go with Clint Hester. He's a guy I think who could do some good business in the middleweight division, the UFC. So I think he'll get the knockout victory over Bristol Morundi. Next up, we've got semi-finalist Dylan Andrews against Jimmy Quinlan. Dylan Andrews, no shame in losing to Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall is a talent which I don't think TUF has ever seen. He's going to do big things in the middleweight division. People are saying he's going to beat Anderson Silva and this. He lost to Chris Weidman before he was even in TUF, so he's got a bit of work to do if he's got to go up to the level that Chris Weidman's already at the minute. So yeah. But Dylan Andrews, he was a semi-finalist, showed great heart, and a couple of really big wins. He beat Luke Barnett to get into the semis. Jimmy Quinlan, he lost to Josh Salmon by getting slapped to the pus, to the back of the head. I think Dylan Andrews is just too scrappy, too gritty, and he's going to get the win here. Next up, we've got Luke Barnett against Colin Hart. As I say, Luke Barnett got knocked out by Dylan Andrews. Colin Hart got knocked the fuck out by Kelvin Gastelum. So I'm going to go with the British guy here, supporting Luke Barnett. Hope he gets the win, hopefully by knockout, but if not, a decision. Next up, we've got Josh Salmon against the King, Kevin Casey. The King, I don't know why they call him the King, because I think on TUF I thought he was absolutely shocking. For him to get a wildcard spot was even worse, where he lost to Bubba McDaniel. He goes on about Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and stuff. He comes off that, but I think this guy he's totally overrated. He fought in Strikeforce a few times, and I thought he was pretty weak on the show, if I'm being honest. He didn't do anything at all. Josh Salmon, didn't really like him either. Kind of got the matches that he wanted to get to where he got in the semis, and then he got out. Kelvin Gastelum just never let him do anything, and then he got submitted. But I'm going to go with Josh Salmon because I think Kevin Casey's a pile of shit. But that's about it. Next up, we've got Bubba McDaniel against Gilbert Smith. Two guys who didn't really look great on the show either. Bubba was running scared of Uriah and didn't really want to fight, and then kind of got his head knocked off when he did get in there. Gilbert Smith got knocked out by Luke Barnett. Don't really care much for this fight. I think Bubba McDaniel's going to get it because Gilbert Smith didn't really show much either in the show. So yeah, I'm going to go with Bubba McDaniel by probably TKO. Next up, we've got the heavyweights. We've got Travis Brown against Gabriel Napao Gonzaga. Gonzaga's coming off a big win over, I think it was Ben Rothwell. Travis Brown's coming off his first loss of his career to Antonio Bigfoot Silva. I just think Travis Brown's going to knock him out in the first round and do it fairly convincingly as well. So I'm going to go Travis Brown. Next up, for me, it's the main event of the whole card. It's the women's bantamweight here. It's Miesha Tate against Kat Zingano. Now we all know Miesha Tate. She was a former Strikeforce champion. This is her first fight in the UFC against Zingano, who's undefeated. Tate's coming off a win over Julie Kedzie in a really exciting fight. Kat Zingano, she is undefeated 7-0, probably the biggest wins against Barb Honchek. But the winner, this is a huge fight, gets a a title shot Ronda Rousey. Now, Miesha Tate, we'll know what happened to Miesha Tate when she fought Ronda Rousey. It was a really tough night for her. She got her arm snapped, but she is a, you could tell how tough she is. She never wanted to give in, never wanted to give up. This is a really great fight. I'm really looking forward to this fight. Zingano, we haven't seen much of her, but this will be an exciting fight, and the winner of this will be on the next season of TUF and be a coach opposite Ronda Rousey. I'm a Miesha Tate fan, have been for years, and I'm going to go with Miesha Tate. I think she's Kat Zingano. This is a big fight for her. She's never faced anybody like Miesha Tate, who's quite skilled in a few areas. So I'm going to go by Miesha Tate by submission. And then we're on the middleweight final of this season's TUF. Kelvin Gastelum against Uriah Hall. One of the first picks against the last pick. Gastelum, I think, was picked last probably because of his age. He's only 21 years old. But Uriah Hall was an absolute killer on the show. He went through people with ease. Adam Sela, one of the nastiest knockouts ever. Nearly took his chin off. It took about 5 minutes for Adam Sela to get, I think it was, regain consciousness and know where he was. Then he knocked out Bubba McDaniel, and then he took out Dylan Andrews very methodically as well. So Kelvin Gastelum, he's just been the two fights I've got wrong this year have been Kelvin Gastelum, and I've picked against him most of the way through, and he's proved me wrong. The guy's a scrapper. As Chael Sonnen said in the last episode, he's not really good in many areas, but he'll give you everything. This is too much. Uriah Hall's going to outclass him, I think. I think anywhere this goes, if it goes to the ground, Gastelum's got a really good chance he can hold him down. But we saw Uriah Hall against Dylan Andrews from the bottom. He was blasting, and it made Dylan Andrews kind of turtle up a little bit, and he got on top and pounded him out. So yeah, I'm going to go with Uriah Hall, and he will be a big threat in the middleweight division in the upcoming years. Then the so-called main event of the night was Uriah Faber and Scott Jorgensen in the bantamweight division. Big fight for Uriah Faber. I think it's his second fight in about 6 to 7 weeks. Scott Jorgensen, these two are really close friends. Jorgensen is he's a very, very scrappy guy in the division. He's a tough guy to face. But yeah, he's coming off a win over John Albert. It's a big step up here against Uriah Faber. He lost his last two before that to Eddie Wineland and Henan Barrow. So he's fought the biggest guys in the division, more or less. He lost to Dominic Cruz as well. He's beat Brad Pickett, Banuelos, Mizugaki. So yeah, he's fought all the guys, the top guys at 135. Uriah Faber, we all know about Uriah Faber. He always gets his title shots. See, I'm a Faber fan. Hope he gets another shot. I do think he can beat Dominic Cruz or Henan Barrow. I think Barrow, he'll struggle mostly against Barrow, but I think he can beat Dominic Cruz, and he has beat him in the past. And he's coming off a win at UFC 157 over Ivan Menjivar with a standing rear naked choke. I think he's going to get a submission victory here as well. And maybe in the second round, if not, he'll eke out he'll get an easy decision, because I think he's classier everywhere than Scott Jorgensen, and that's taking nothing away from Scott Jorgensen, who is a really, really good fighter as well. But that's it for this week. Next week we've got UFC back on Fox with Ben Henderson and Gilbert Melendez. I'll be back for that. Probably Monday I'll maybe pop out a video for that. But enjoy the fights this weekend. Follow me on Twitter, BigBilber7MMA. We can talk some MMA there. Like the video, share the video, and enjoy the video. Take care, have a good weekend, and I'll see you later.